Why is microservices architecture complex for SaaS? Have you ever wondered why microservices architecture can be tricky for software as a service? Let's break it down in a way that makes sense. Microservices architecture involves many small, independent services that need to work together smoothly. This setup can create challenges, especially in a distributed system. First, think about how these services operate. Unlike traditional applications that run as a single unit, microservices run separately and communicate over a network. This means you have to deal with issues like network delays and making sure services can find each other. Keeping everything in sync can be tough when you have multiple services talking to each other. Next, consider the deployment process. Each microservice needs its own setup for deployment, version control, and monitoring. For software as a service providers, this means creating automated systems that can handle many services at once. Using tools like continuous integration and continuous deployment is essential, but it adds to the workload. Testing is another area where complexity arises. You can't just test each service in isolation. You also need to check how they work together. If something goes wrong, it can be hard to figure out why, especially when logs are scattered across different services. Monitoring these services is vital too. To keep everything running smoothly, teams need tools that can track requests as they move through the various microservices. Setting up these monitoring systems can be a big task and requires a good amount of expertise. Data management adds another layer of difficulty. Each microservice often has its own database, which can make it challenging to ensure that data is consistent across the board. This is especially important for software as a service applications that handle lots of user data. Running many microservices also means you need more computing resources. This can lead to higher operational costs and requires a range of technologies to manage everything effectively. Lastly, governance can be a challenge. Different teams might choose different programming languages or frameworks for their services. This can make it hard to maintain consistency and enforce standards across the entire platform. In practical terms, while microservices architecture offers flexibility and scalability, it requires a solid investment in tools and practices. Software, as a service, companies must design their application programming interfaces carefully to minimize delays and ensure smooth communication. They also need centralized systems for logging and monitoring to keep everything visible and manageable. So, while microservices architecture can be a great choice for software as a service, it comes with its own set of challenges that requiring careful planning and execution.